name's Wendy Nordby, and I'm doing this deposition to bring light to terrible crimes that were committed against me during the 2016 election. Backtracking to 2014, someone did try to kill me who was high profile, and I'll address the events surrounding that situation later. I've written them in a book, and I might just read that on this channel to just kind of bring clarity and bring light and sort out facts. The title of the book is on Amazon. It's just an editor's copy that I just wanted to put a timestamp on and throw it online as a witness. The cover actually has a copy of my hair test on it. So the name is Everyday Sociopaths, The True Story of Broke-Eyed Betty by a pen named W. Bellini, but I wrote it. And again, it's just an editor's copy, so just with facts. But moving forward to 2015, after I spent a year intensively trying to work and detox the poison that had been, anyway, moving past that, I moved to New York City, and because I was new in town and I didn't have a job yet, I had worked in sales prior to that. I lived at a Korean family-style spa in Palisade Park, New Jersey, adjacent to Inglewood, New Jersey. It's called King Spa, and it's a family-style spa where the men and women change separate. You're given a uniform, you shower, and then you go in. They have spa services, which I never, ever got any of those. But they have hot rooms where it's a holistic thing, and I bought a membership, so I had to pay for my way back and forth to New York, but I could stay there for free, right, for 6 months until my membership ran out. Well, fast track, I was doing that, doing demos and side merchandising work, the right thing, nothing underhanded or weird or immoral. And so I was just there earnestly trying to do the right thing, hoping the people that were high profile that had done what they had to me were going to make it right by me. I was like losing weight. I was still trying to use green juices and herbs and stuff to detox the poison out of my body, because I'd worked in holistic natural sales before that. So I had a knowledge about healthy eating and like how to, through herbs, like pull heavy metals, things like that out of your body. So I was doing that, and you can't believe what I was going through in the heat of New York City, and almost like still in a sense, almost deathly ill. I'd wake up, my kidneys would be hurting, and I'd get water. Thank God they had free water there that was ionized, and I would wake up with my kidneys hurting and, definitely like weak. So I could only run, jog, and walk on a treadmill for 1.5 miles, and then I had to stop, and then I would wrap myself and try to sweat off to try to get the weight off, right? So somehow I might be good enough that they could rescue me and pay me for all the movies that they used my image in, but let me set that aside. So moving forward, so coming to the 2016 election, I saw online that Donald Trump was extending for volunteers to come to his Trump Tower to work in the call center. And I said to myself, wow, this might be a great idea, being a fan of Joan Rivers, of, the opportunity for a job and, maybe some kind of validation or vindication, knowing that people like Arnold Schwarzenegger know me and things like that. So long story short is that I went to apply, and they didn't call me at first, and I was like, okay. By then I was almost homeless. So it was now close to around February of 2016, and my membership had run out, and I said, I'm down to fumes, I don't have a job yet. So I found another Korean spa in Flushing, New York called Spa Castle, and I stayed there for the month of February, knowing I was down to fumes, and it was my mom's birthday, so I wanted to get her a gift as well. And if maybe that shows my character in some kind of way, I don't know. But I'm there like merchandising at midnight, doing everything I can, hiding my demo table at these places so I can go out and do demos, because I still couldn't get a job there. So long story short, I'm at Spa Castle. They're not open 24 hours. I had to go at 5 at night, sleep as much as I could until 11 when they when they start to close, and then get all my things, and then I'd go into Times Square and wait all night at that 24-hour Starbucks, or go to the gym, my 24-hour gym, Planet Fitness. And we're talking in the middle of February in New York City. So thank God, God was with me, nothing happened to me, but I'm still here trying to do my merchandising and my demos, and homeless, and they're calling me like, did you set out the new card set and all this stuff? And I'm here sometimes with my suitcase running to the Dollar Tree trying to merchandise. And one of my stores was actually robbed by shot-off shotgun, and thank God I wasn't there that night, because I would often do my route like after midnight. But in a way, I think maybe this too could have saved my life, my altered schedule in some kind of way. I don't know, but let me go back to the facts regarding the election. So it's February 2016, and I had just started, I believe, either inquiring, or I think that was the first month we started making calls at Trump Tower. And so I'm going, and as much as I could, because I had to do demos, so I couldn't be there all the time. Sometimes I'd come sporadically for like 2 hours, but I felt like the weight of what I had to offer made an impact, because I've been a woman of prayer for years, and I used to work for Benny Hinn, and I feel like what I have weight in the spirit that really helps. I have like a breaker anointing, so I felt like in some ways it wasn't just a voice on the phone. I felt like I had a bigger impact, which I think is important to note, that powerful preachers around me know that as well. Like people like, I used to be a member of Noel Jones Church for years, who was best friends with T.D. Jakes, and of course he's best friends with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, who of course got Obama elected. So that being said, I was also attending Hezekiah Walker's church, so in the interim. So that being said, Hezekiah Walker's church, I used to have Noel Jones' phone number before what happened to me in 2014, and I had to throw that phone away. So he was like a real spiritual father to me. So he was really integral. He knew my life. He knew my friend who worked at the church. So in a way, and I know what happened to me the first time, they were all praying for me, because they were all shouting that it was a miracle that I lived in 2014. But there's a thin line between love and hate, right? So come 2016, we come to the election, and I'm there going to Trump Tower. And moving forward, I'm going as much as I can, but like some days I was down to like just oatmeal to eat, because the woman, I tried to get food stamps, and I was blocked by a woman at the office, and so I'm like down to like they look at me like, you don't need this. I'm down there to the middle of winter, out all night, and oatmeal to eat. One day I remember walking to Trump Tower from 34th Street. So I walked I walked from 31st Street. So I walked about 30 blocks just to get to Trump Tower, because I didn't have the bus fare. So when I went there, they were offering small snacks, and so I was grateful for that. But long story short is that the problem started. So I'm at Hezekiah Walker's church. I know that they've called me to come have my picture taken at the church. They've called me for events. So people are tapped into my phone. And let me get down to the guts of this and not go on and on. This is just kind of a sample, so hopefully someone will call me for my deposition and I can be a witness and I can get restitution for what's happened to me. So let me pass and just stop frilling on about stuff. 2016 February, I start making calls. I'm using my personal cell phone with my personal number. They've emailed my emails that the churches have also over the years known those emails. So long story short, the fact that they say Obama didn't tap Trump Tower, they're lying, because in my phone, they heard on my phone all my phone calls. the people like Noel Jones, TD Jakes. So come the following spring, I finally get a sales job in May. I start in May, and then so it's a regular job, right? You know, benefits, time off, thank God. What I had before in LA. Fast forward, we go May, but I had a premonition in my spirit that something was wrong. Like that Easter, I get a call from the church, and I had left the church, Hezekiah Walker's church, for just various reasons, but I got a call and they said, "Oh, can you come take a photo with the bishop for Easter Sunday?" And we're having new members come and take photos. So I said, sure. So I go there and we take one, together like he did with everyone else, and then a group photo. And, it was a powerful service, and I left. And then, so I'm just bringing that up because these guys were on my phone. They were in my email. These guys are all friends, and they elected Obama, and they're very Masonic. They're very Big Brother. Moving on. So I go and I'm doing my new sales route starting in May all summer, and I had a premonition let me see. I don't want to lie to you. Okay, so come August now. Okay, so I started with Trump Tower in February 2016. Start my new job in May with the sales route. I bought a car, cash, and then I had a car now. So I'm doing my sales route. Come August, I'm back at King Spa right after, it was only 1 month away, and then I went back to King Spa because and started buying single nights, right, through Groupon or whatever. So come August, this girl shows up at the King Spa, and I didn't know her, but she knew my name. She says, "Hi, Wendy." She says, "Don't you remember me?" I said, "No." She's like, "Oh, I met you in February." And see, the month that I was gone out of there, the month I started with Trump Tower, or either started there calling or had made inquiries, she had already come to kill me, but I wasn't there because I was at the other Flushing place and staying out all night. So it was the hand of God saving my life. So she says, "Wendy," she calls me by my name. I didn't know her from Adam, but she's African American, and she says that she knows TD Jakes, that they've had several affairs, and he would throw his family in the ditch today if she would go and be with him, and he offered to buy her a house. I'm sorry to sell you out, I'm sure he won't hear this, but whenever he does hear my testimony, I'm sorry, but I have to, because I'm now homeless and I have nowhere to go, and I have no future, and my jobs are continually being blocked. So I'm wanting restitution, and the truth's gonna come out. This girl's name was Rena, and she had a big pyramid on her arm with an all-seeing eye, and it says "Daddy's Girl." So the fact that she was branded, I knew right away, oh, okay, so she's Illuminati, right? And I was like, I knew right away that in my spirit, but I befriended her, and we would talk every night. And so come September, the beginning of September, I believe it was September 5th, but I can look up later if you guys call me for an interview or bring me to Washington, whatever. So long story short, September 5th, I'm driving in my car, and I had a premonition. I'm out in Long Island where Noel Jones' best friend, the singer Donnie McClurkin, who several of his family members have mysteriously died too, 13-year-old nieces, nephews, whoever. So as we all know for gospel albums how that works. But he's a nice person, and he's been best friends with Noel Jones for years, and he knows me. So, because I met him before, and he knows me. So his church is right there. I'm out on Long Island in Manhasset at my Whole Foods, and I felt a bad premonition in my spirit. So I leave that store, I spend extensive time, and mind you, it's just like I had a terrible, my situation was rough, like going from Jersey to do these sales jobs, but I'm a hustler, and I was making it work. And thank God I have my degree now, because I do not want to do sales. I feel it's like way beneath me, and hopefully my books and the things I've written prove that, I deserve a real position with the CIA, with anybody. So let me set that aside. So I'm out there on my hands and knees doing my yogurt line, doing all my merchandising, doing my sales, And I go out to my car and I have a bad premonition. So I'm driving and there's a hill, and all of a sudden, so I was feeling weak, and I was like, well, maybe it's the heat because it's like September now, right, in New York. And I said, I need to get some protein because of knowing what I'd been through before. I go up there, I get some protein. It didn't work, and I was feeling sick. I was feeling weird. It's a steep hill. I'm driving down the hill. All of a sudden, something falls off the bottom of my car, and it was scraping on the ground, and then it falls off. So I knew in my spirit, I says, oh, like that they tampered with the car. But I'm driving back to Long Island City where I used to park that car. And needless to say, it was the street I parked it on, so I didn't have to pay parking, was right in front of the abortion center. And I said, well, maybe this is a prophetic act towards God. I can, intercede for these people, maybe. So just to put that out there, I've never had any abortions. I'm a virgin. I've lived a holy life. I've never had sex with anyone, in case, because I know surrounding me there's like lies or whatever. So if you need to know or research, my car was parked out front of the Planned Parenthood facility in Long Island City. So long story short, the next day I come and I have to go to Brooklyn, and then I'm on my way down there, and I barely get like 20 minutes out of Long Island City. I'm feeling weak, and I said, oh my word. I said, it must be the heat. So I pulled over and opened the doors. And then I was going, I got to my store. I was still feeling weak, but I did my route. Then I go to my next store, and you see how I'm not in the car the whole time? By the end of the day, I had to go to the gas station because I said, I am feeling so sick and it's not going away. And then I realized, oh, it's carbon monoxide. So I'm rolling down the windows to get back. I go and I park the car back in Long Island City. And lo and behold, it was a Monday. And the next day, Hezekiah Walker, which they never cancel church. They have all, the Brooklyn location, they have all kind of preachers. They have all kind of everybody. And long story short is that they canceled church when I didn't die. So I said, oh my word. So then I go back, and, Rena's still at the King Spa, and, seeing I'm alive and all this stuff. And then she mentioned, I think, I'm nice to everybody, and, I know that she was there to get information from me or whatever, but anyway, so by then I know there's other people around there assisting her in the King Spa. So one day I wake up, and I knew in my spirit, I don't want to get, these are too important, I don't want to get it mixed around, but it was towards the middle of September. I'm sleeping, they have kind of bed things and these chairs. I'm sleeping in this chair thing, and I wake up but not awake, and I realize, I felt pressure on me, but it wasn't that kind of a dream. I felt physical pressure on me, but I was in my my deep sleep mode, right? Whatever that's called. And I'm in that thing, and I feel actual pressure on my body, and I feel like, oh my word, I can't breathe. And I knew in my spirit, thank God for the Holy Ghost, I knew in my spirit, oh, they were trying to kill me. So then, from then on out, because I knew Rena had other people there, and like she asked me about the car, and she said, oh, so what are you gonna do with the car? And I said, just leave it parked, right? And my stuff was in the trunk. Like I had a lot of stuff, clothes, computer, everything. So one day, so I had my stuff out there, and it was there a couple weeks, right? I went and did laundry, and I got my clothes, but I was aware that, oh my word, they could like blow up the car, right? So I was aware, but I was praying every time. Like one day I had to move it for the parking, to get the parking, and then I was praying the whole way because I knew, on a remote control, anything, they could blow up my car. So, and needless to say, in Long Island City, before all this happened, there's a grate that comes down in front of well, forget that. I don't want to mention that because I don't want to sound too far-fetched, but if anyone wants to go into detail, I'll take you over there and lead you in details. So the next thing that happened to me is that, and I'm not pointing fingers to anybody, but I'm going to address Broke-Eyed Betty at the end because I think it's important. So long story short is that I wake up, it's mid-September, and oh, and before that, well, skip that. I wake up and then I feel like them on me. So then from then on out, I knew, because there were other people there, and you can all sense it on them. They're all branded, they're all marked. You know who are the ones that are the killers that come and do these little killings for these ritual sacrifices. So long story short is that from then on out, I didn't sleep. And then there were people coming, and they were there, and I'd sleep other places. Like I slept at by sheer accident, the Hyatt next to Grand Central that Trump used to own one day. I was awake all night, and I went into the city, and then I slept for a little bit in the stall. And I just think it's a funny coincidence. I didn't know at the time he used to own that hotel. So then here I am, and I'm still trying to do the Trump Tower thing. So it's mid-September. I have my sales job. I know that they're also involved in this because we source milk from China. Back in June, this couple from China had come to my demo. I had a big event at a fairway, and actually because of my sales, we sold in an extra truck for the seasonal sales. Like, we're talking a full trailer, and that wasn't my job, but thank God that happened, because it was a new job, and it helped me, with everything I was going through, look good in their eyes. So these people from China came, and then they took pictures with me, and then they emailed it to my email, so they had my email. So China, number one. We sourced milk from China. There was a big farm there. So then that was around June. So then, long story short, let me just fast forward. So I started not sleeping right at the king spot. Then I might redo this over, but it's more just for a witness. So if I keep this, I keep this, but it won't be like this if you question me directly. So I just want this for like a thumbprint out there, a witness. So then I'm not sleeping, right? I'm waiting the whole night, and they send more people in there to like wait for me to fall asleep in the king spot. And it's only a matter of a few days, and I'm working the whole time I'm doing this too, and my job is involved because they acted like they were going to promote me, but I knew I turned my GPS. I was still doing the job, getting my sales in, but I turned the GPS off on my phone and stuff, and turned my phone off because I knew they were after me. They were part of this to like kill me. So they wanted to, like, my boss who never called me was calling me. And long story short is that they acted like they were going to give me a promotion, but I know they were trying to GPS me in the day to try to come and kill me because somebody else bigger than them had infiltrated through. And my boss said that the company, none of them wanted Trump, they wanted Obama. So I'll just put that out there. So then they're acting like I was about to be promoted to a management position, and I was in all the PowerPoints every week. Oh, Wendy, you're doing such a great job, giving them all these ideas, and they'd always have my pictures in there saying what a good job I did. But then I felt in my spirit, oh, if I go to Colorado and take that promotion, I'll be dead in 2 weeks. Like, it's like a trap, like they'll explode my car or something. I just knew in my spirit. So I was like, this is a lie. So anyway, these people are after me. I'm not sleeping at night. I'm leaving in the shuttle, and I got all these people behind me. I stay awake as long as I can. This is end of September. I start leaving out on the first shuttle. I got people with me who I know are like part of Rena's extension or whatever, and waiting for me to fall asleep in the shuttle. So I sleep in the front seat, and then the driver, like the second time, was like, no, you get in the back. And it was the only time I could sleep, and he was irate, like shoving me to the wolves, right? Because it was a long ride, and they wanted to be able to like smother me or kill me while I was going to New York. So not every person riding, but this is the first shuttle of the day, and I knew who was who in there. So then, long story short, eventually the key of my car ends up missing from my locker. So they took my key, and I just left my car because in October I took an extended leave, and my dad had a heart attack, but I didn't go to where he was, but I told my job, because I was trying to hide from them and get away. I said, I took an extended leave and I went to California and I stayed in the Wee Spa out here on Wilshire Boulevard. Well, here, first 2 nights I got some sleep, but then like one of the nights I'm down in the women's area and I wake up, like the Holy Ghost woke me up to this woman putting a blanket towards my face to smother me. And she's like, oh, you want a blanket? And it was a little old woman. So I knew right away. So I started sleeping, until 11. And then when everyone else started to go to sleep upstairs in the communal area, and then I would stay awake the entire night. And like, of course, I knew who was who there, and like, there were a lot of regular people, but then there were several people that were like there to do me in, right? So I had to stay awake the whole night, and I did that the entire month of October, like I got there around like October 5th, and then I did it almost the entire month of October. And I was out here, I was trying to find jobs, and of course nobody would call me back to hire me. And then I end up going back to New York when my extended leave left. And so then while I'm out there, my job decides to write me up. So isn't that nice? Because they can't kill me. So obviously by now I'm pissing people off. And so I'm still like, by then I start staying in, I found a hostel in New Jersey, Union City, New Jersey. It's like Express Hostel or something like that. So the first night I was there were two men, one from England, two from England, and then one from Florida. And I remember the one from Florida, his last name's Dyer, right? And he's reading his Bible. And these ones the ones from England put out a strategic book, like about, the whole Illuminati thing. Like, it was like it was a sign, like it was totally like a message, right? So I'm in there and I'm thinking, dang, this is supposed to be co-ed and there's no women, but I still went to sleep, right? And the next day, the manager comes in and says, how did he get in here? The guy who was from Florida with the last name Dyer. So, I'm just nice to everybody the night before. I talked to everyone, but then I moved rooms, and, I had several people coming and going. And then eventually I bought out the whole room, and I was paying like $1,200 a night. I bought out 3 beds, and I was blocking the door. So mind you, this by now is like November of the election, right? And before the election, I was coming in, and I was aware that I was surrounded by people in there. I'm gonna have to redo this because this is way too long, and like, dang it. Well, I'll just keep with this, and I have to go, so I'll just put this out here, and then later on I could do something. Or, okay, long story short, I'm in the hostel now, and it was the night of the election, and I felt really bad, but I know that I see in the spirit, right, and I have power in prayer more than I have power like sitting there watching some TV. And I was aware that I was surrounded in the hostel where I was, because like it was just bad, right? And so anyway, like it was bad. So when the front desk is like snickering at you and smiling and like acting like they know, it's like the FBI telling them, oh, she's a criminal or whatever, we need to watch her. And they're all part of it, and they're all wiping their eye and all doing that. But they're not like looking out for you, because I know it's like somebody, I knew it was the government telling them, oh, she's some kind of something, we gotta watch her. I knew it was the government because I just knew. And so then I'm there, it's the night of the election, there was no TV around except in the communal room. I went straight into the room because I try to like lock myself in, because I knew the danger I was in, right? So then I'm just on my bed praying and stuff, and I can feel like